Hi crew, I haven't checked in for a while and there's something that I want to talk about that isn't talked about when it comes to experiencing serious illness, multiple serious illnesses, ongoing side effects, and that is, I have tissues because I'll probably cry at you, and that is the feeling of helplessness. It's the feelings of just fury. It's being so pissy, and I am this morning. It's being so pissy that the way you thought your life was going to go just gets ripped out from under you. It's being just heartbroken with the exhaustion that you feel. And the thing is, during a lot of the illness and stuff like that, you don't get a lot of chance to process these emotions. And the more people I talk to who have experienced serious illness, the more I realise is that this shit catches up with you when you're trying to get back into life. You know, you're too busy with the process, you're too busy with procedures, you're too busy trying to work out where your money's coming from. There are too many things going on during the actual situation for you to really process the enormity that for some people your life is changed forever. And for me, and my personal experience is, that actually happened 8.5 years ago. With the brain tumour I had 8.5 years ago, my life changed forever because of the brain injury that I received. And it took years for me to accept that the person I wasn't coming back. And in many ways I'm a better person, so don't get me wrong, it's been a gift as well. But the person that I was, and the person who had certain plans and certain assumptions, that person's gone. And that happened for me for the first time 8.5 years ago with the brain surgery, because certain capacities and capabilities I had got cut out with the tumour. And I know that's something that most of you don't see. And it's only something people very close to me see, is that I'm not the same person I was. And I've had to adapt to that. And the fatigue that came with that meant that even from 8.5 years ago, you know how you get up, for people who've not had serious illness or chronic illness, you get up in the morning and you have a day planned and you assume you can do that day. And it doesn't even cross your mind that you may not be able to have that day. Whereas someone with a chronic illness, someone who's had serious illness, someone with a brain injury, someone emotionally who may have depression or anxiety and all of those sorts of things, they know that that day is not promised to them. You know, you learn to experience that just going through your day and assuming that you will get to the end of it having ticked a few boxes and stuff like that. It's a luxury. It's a luxury to think that way. And I learned that 8.5 years ago, that luxury was no longer mine. And having the last 18 months that I've had, and now knowing that at least 5.5 years of that exhaustion and mental fatigue and the constant headaches and all of that sort of stuff was also being caused by a tumour, as well as the brain injury. On top of that, having the breast cancer. On top of that, having the Barmer virus. On top of that, having the major jaw surgery. All of that together has left me incredibly depleted. And so I'm now 7 months out from the last surgery. I've got appointments with my endocrinologist on Wednesday because something is still not right. And for the most part, as you guys have seen, I don't let that get to me. You know, I just keep charging ahead, possibly too much. Just going, all right, well, if this is the situation, we're just going to accept it. We're going to, and for the most part, I feel like that. But at other times, like I said before, I feel this raging helplessness and anger, and just, I want to blame everyone. Just resentful that I don't have that privilege of assuming I'm going to get stuff done today. And it's not even that. It's just, sometimes you beat yourself up. What decisions could I have made differently? And as you know, I'm not one normally to do that, but I'd be lying if I said it never happened. And that's what I want to talk about today. Is I wanted to acknowledge to all those people who have been through serious illness and had their mortality held up in front of them on a flashcard going, there's a timeline here, and it may not be the one you think you have.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Oh, Google didn't understand what I just said then, apparently. I don't know if you heard that. Hang on, I've just realised my vacuum's still on. Give me a moment. See, I'm so wrapped up, I didn't even realise that the whole time I've had the vacuum going in the background. I apologise for that. I want to acknowledge those people who understand this and who know how difficult it is to get up day after day after day. You make your plans, you want to do certain things, and it might be by 10 o'clock that's all gone. You might get to 3 o'clock. You might wake up and you just know it's shot. And it may be for physical reasons, it may be for emotional reasons, it may be because a med that you're on isn't working. I've just found out that one of the meds that I was on, that everyone knew I was on, that is meant to be harmless, non-addictive. It was melatonin to help me sleep, because insomnia has been one of my worst symptoms through all of this. What nobody tells you, what the jar doesn't even tell you, is that if melatonin doesn't work for you, it can completely fuck you over. And I'm just learning that that's what's been happening for me for a long time. And for some people it's great, but for other people it really fucks with your hormonal system. And I am right at the end of perimenopause, transitioning into menopause. And so my hormones, on top of everything else, are through the roof. And I just wanted to let people know that this is part of serious illness. This is part of cancer. This is part of all of those sorts of chronic illnesses that just rip away your plans. They rip away your ability at times to fulfill those plans. And even well after the event, I'm just coming out of a patch of about 2 months where for at least a couple of days a week, I have been that flattened that I am flat out showering and feeding myself. Having a conversation's hard, and nobody can work out why. But if you talk to people who have been through this, it's actually not uncommon, but nobody talks about it. It's not uncommon after having cancer to have this delayed backlash emotionally, physically, mentally. And so I wanted to share that with you, because I've been really open about my process, been really open about all that sort of stuff. And I haven't been on for a long time because I've been dealing with this in the background, just going, this is nuts. I should be over this. I'm stronger than this. I can get on with just, rebuilding my life, rebuilding new things, and just being so confused as to why I've been unable to really get into that. I have moments, which is great. You've seen the artwork that I'm doing. I'm doing the cookbook. I'm doing a lot of stuff, and on social media it all looks like it's going really well. And I've even had close friends to me just go, my God, you're really looking on top of things. And when I just go, I'm not. I'm having small patches and moments where I'm on top of things. But in terms of really changing my life moving forward, it's been incredibly difficult. It's been incredibly worrying. It's been incredibly frustrating because of all this lingering stuff. And on top of that, you've got lockdown. And I turned 50 yesterday. And I'm stoked about turning 50, don't get me wrong. I find it surreal and hilarious that I've been here 50 years. And while some of me feels like it's been 120, I just find that hilarious because there's no way I am really 50. So I enjoy turning 50. But it's also a signpost to go, the part of me that's really driven, that's really committed, that's really optimistic is going, come on, you should be over this. Get over it. Move on. Get shit done. And yet, I'm not. And it's... you can see the frustration. Because I have such high expectations of myself. And I don't expect anyone else to do this for me. Never have. But I'm struggling with expectations that I'll do it for me. And I'll get there. But like I said, I wanted to share that this is a really common aspect of serious illness that nobody talks about. And that's the aftermath. And some people might go straight back to work and brilliant and all that sort of stuff. And other people, they get stuck in this space and they never move on. Everyone's different and nobody's journey is wrong. So thank you for all your support. To all of you going through something like this, and I know some of you are right now, hang in there because people understand. People understand this journey because they've been through it, they're going through it. And I will come out the other end because I'm too fucking stubborn not to. And I will, this keeps distracting me. I haven't done my hair. Couldn't give a shit today. We'll all come through this, and I will make my life however I need to with whatever, comes out of this situation. And I know you will too. Hang in there, be brave. People understand, and it will get better. It will.